Hello students, this video is the continuation of the previous video, and in previous video I mentioned you what is a file, why we need a data file, and after that we discussed that this is the process and process requires input and it generates output, and whenever we are the system after system gets off, switched off, after closing the system everything is being removed from the memory, all the inputs and output, but only the process resides in the permanent storage device. Okay, so what we would like to discuss now here, so here question arises that once if system is closed, then if we are not able to retain the input, we are not able to retain the output, so we need to again provide the input, we need to get again output. Okay, but sometime what happened, that output we need to use for another process, not at the same time, later on. Okay, after some time the output is required by the another process for the processing. Okay, it is required by the program to store data permanently, to store output permanently, to store input permanently. So here comes the need to store input, to store output, right, permanently into a file for the further processing, right, into a file for the further processing, right. Means sometime we don't need involvement of the user, we don't need involvement of the user to provide input to the process, and when the output generated, so it's not necessary that user will remain there to receive the output, to entertain, to see the output at the same time. That output can be saved into the file and can be used later on, can be used by the other process, right, and can be transferred somewhere. Okay, so for that we require permanent storage of the data, we need to store the data permanently. So here is mentioned that why you need a data file. Why you need a data file? To store data in organized manner. Obviously the data is stored in organized manner so that it can be used further, and as it is stored in organized manner, it can be accessed fast. It is accessing is very fast, searching is very fast, because it is stored in organized manner. Okay, and that file can be changed too, that file can also be modified, right. So this is the need of file. So let us see once again the another picture of it. This is your process, this is your process, and this is your file, right. Okay, this is your file where the data is stored, and data is input also, and it is considered as output also. Means it depends upon, sometime in one phase it is acting as an input, another phase after processing, as the data is being processed, it generates the output, there it is considered as output or the information, right. So what happened, whenever we need to access the data from the file, okay, we need to access the data from the file, so input is given to the process. Okay, we can say that input receives the process from the file. You observe this sequence, right. This will help you to design your program. This will help you to design the program. data is stored into the file. It's upon you that when you will consider the data as input or when it is output. So you are getting the data in the form of input and given to the process. After processing, it generates the output, and then this output is again redirected to the file, right? This output is redirected to the file, and file will store the output also, right? So here you can say that earlier in the beginning it was the file was storing the input, and now it is storing output also, right? Output is also stored in the file. Clear? Now next time it may be that the same output can be used by another process or by the same process for the processing. So file may require input, and after that file can give the output. Okay, this is the input data and this is the output data. Output information, output is itself information, but as you know that sometimes we refers data also to the output, right? So finally, what is being cleared in your mind? We have created process, we require a file, right, to store the data permanently, to retrieve data from the permanent storage, right now. So this is because of this we require data to be stored into the permanent storage device. So when the input and output is stored into the permanent file, it is called file handling. It is called file handling. So in Python, file handling consists of 3 phases, you can say 3 steps, you can say that in Python when you are going to deal with file handling in Python. Okay, file handling in Python, so it is having Python file handling. There is 3 steps. 3 steps you need to follow to handle the file, to handle the data input and output permanently into the file. First one is you need to open a file. Open a file, right? Second one, process file, that is perform read or write operation. Process file means read or write operation. Okay, open the file. Second is process file, that involves read and write operation. Close the file. After that you close the file which you have opened, right? Close the file which you have opened. Now there comes a question, why we require to open a file, right? You know very well that anything, all the programs are residing in the RAM area, right? Everything in the computer system is, the work is done in the RAM area, that is the main memory. Okay, so process resides in the main memory. Process when comes in the main memory, then only the work can be done. As you know very well that till the things are not coming to the main memory, computer doesn't do any work, right? So the process when comes to the main memory, after that you need to open the file, right, for taking the input or to store the data permanently. Okay, so when you will open the file, file will be copied from permanent storage to the memory, that the file will also come to the RAM. File will also come to the RAM. Okay, now after that process file will be what? Read and write operation, means from the process will read the data from the file and process will write the data into the file. Clear? And at the end you need to close the file. Okay, at the end you need to close the file. And one more thing is there, while you are writing something into the file, that is automatically it gets saved into the, means being updated into the file. It's not that when you will close the file then only your file will be updated. What happened if you are closing the file, means that you are, this is very good practice. When a file is opened, as work is over, you should close the file so that resources will be free, right? Because we have a limited space in the memory. So it will, if we will close the file, it will clean the memory, it will leave the space, okay, which is occupied by this file, okay, which is occupied by this file. So it is good habit to close the file. And suppose if you are not closing the file, program will automatically close the file when the process will get ended or the application will get ended, right? So this is the 3 step. You remember, open the file, process the file, close the file. So you have to learn now that how you will open the file, how the processing of the file can be anything, right? It depends upon the what kind of operation you are going to do with the file data. So file whenever you are opening the file comes to the main memory and then can be used, that file data can be used by the program, and that comes under the process the file, or either reading or writing. When it is read out by the process and it is changed by the process, and after that it is again rewritten into the file, right? And after that it is closed. This is a 3 step is very important in Python file handling. Now before starting the operation on this file, let us see that how many types of file it handles. So types of files. First one is the text file and the binary file, right? Text files are all those .txt files, .rft, as you know txt files are containing the text only, rft, revisable form text, and csv files, okay? Now binary files are what? All the images, it includes the text also, it includes the images also, right? Like it includes the instructions also, like all exe files, right? .bmp files, okay, word files, all those files are, which is not only containing the text, that contains also like all the mp3 file, mp4 file, all those are coming under the binary file. So how you can differentiate this text file and the binary file? As its name, right? As its name, like text file, okay, as its name, text file, it's the bits representing a character. In text file what happened, as you know that system RAM is, it's just like a page which is divided into bytes, and one byte is having the 8 bits division, and one bit contains either 0 or 1, right? And all the informations, doesn't matter what form we are providing, but computer finally stores it in the binary form, means 0 in the form of 0 and 1s. Right now all the data, whatever kind of data we are using, that is stored in the 0 and 1s. But internally the text files are treated in different way. It is easily treated, and the byte contains the characters, right? Byte contains the characters. And what happened in the binary files? Binary files can easily get corrupted. It stores the 0 and 1. And what happened now? If any 0 and 1, change of the 0 and 1 may lead to the change of entire information, okay? Now text file have less prone to get corrupted, as changes reflects as soon as made and can be undone. If any changes is done, it can be get back, okay? Now text file stores only plain text in a file. It doesn't stores the images. Text file stores only texts, it doesn't stores the images. But binary file stores the images also, and the text too, right, in the single file. Now this text files are widely used file format where simple informations when we need to store, we are using the text file, and it is opened in the text editor. It is opened in the text editor, right? And binary files are opened in that application from which it is created, right? If the Word file is there, so Word files are created through the Word application, so Word application can only open those files, right now. So can have any application define all the applications which is creating their own file are having their own extension, right? So by that extension we are able to recognize that which kind of, from which application that file is created. So there is the text file and the binary file. Okay, we will again differentiate this text file and binary file while when you will work with these files, right? So that time it will be very clear difference in your mind that how we are treating the text file, what is the text file, how the binary files are treated right now. So as whatever I have mentioned to you, it will be very well clear to you that what kind of data is stored by the text file and the binary file right now. So I'll tell you in practical sessions you will be able to see that how we can open the files and how you can process the data from the file and how you can close the file, right? You can see in the practical session. Okay, now here I am going to tell you the syntax of the function which will be involved to open a file, and the practical you will see in the practical video, right? So here is open function. Open function to open a file. Before any operation, as I told you, that file must be opened, then only reading or writing can be done. So here is Python providing you open function. So now let us see how you will use the open function, like file object equals to open parenthesis, and as I know that angle brackets are given in the syntax only, file name, right? File name, then next parameter is access mode, and then the next parameter is buffering. Right, this three argument is passed to the file object, as these two are accessing mode required to be written, but buffering is having some default value also, right? So now let us see how you can define this file name. What is this file name and what is this access mode right now? So file name is what? Name of the file enclosed in double quotes. File name will include the name of the file. Suppose that you have a file name, you have written open, okay, and there is one file x.txt. So this must be enclosed in double quote. Okay, this must be enclosed in the double quotes. Next one is the access mode. This access mode determines what kind of operation can be performed with file. What can be the operations? What are the operations we are doing with the files? When we are creating a file, right? So we are writing, okay? Right? Next, we are reading the file, we are changing the data in the file. Okay? Basically, three types of operations we are doing: reading, writing, and editing the file or appending the information into the file. That comes, you may say that it comes under the writing also. So that includes the access mode. Once again, I'd like to mention you, file name is the name of the file, right, which you will use to store the data. Access mode, for access mode you can refer the chart from the book. It is clearly mentioned, there various access modes are mentioned, right, for reading, for writing, for appending. Okay, so access mode is what determines what kind of operation can be performed with file, like read, write, etc. Okay, now what is this buffering? What is this buffering? How you will define this buffering? For no buffering, set it, the default setting is the 0. Okay. For line buffering, you may set it to 1. If the greater than 1, then it is buffer size. If it is negative, then buffer size is system default. Clear? If you will mention, the size will be mentioned as greater than 1, so it will be considered as buffer size. Okay, it will be considered as buffer size. If it will be negative, then the default buffer size will be used. That is for the buffering. Okay, so this three, as you right now, you will in practicals, this will be shown to you. As right now you have to deal with the file name and the access mode. Right now you have to work with the file name and the access mode. You can refer the file name can be any text. Now we are dealing with the text file, so any text file it can be. And the access mode is what you file is open for reading or writing, what kind of operation will be done with the file. Okay, so I think this open function will be very well clear to you right now. So as we have the reading or writing mode, if you will write R, so this is considered as read mode. It returns the pointer of the opened file, the reference of the opened file to the file object, whatever you will mention to the left hand side of the equals operator. Okay, so in practical part you will be able to see that how the file is opened and how the file name, access mode you will open, and how you will print the informations from the file object, or how you will be able to write the methods you will learn, how you will be able to write into the file. Okay, thank you students.